Why do people pay so much money for dogs when they could save a dog in the pound rehoming center? All the pounds, rescues and animal shelters where I live are full of pits and chihuahuas. Both are nopes for me if I ever decided to get a dog, more of a cat person. My wife and I have 4 dogs, and we only adopt rescues. It's not easy. They can be challenging, especially if they've experienced neglect or abuse. It should also be noted that a lot of people give up their dogs because they have health issues that the owners can't afford to properly treat. I shit you not. My wife and I spend so much money at our veterinary clinic that they send us a very nice gift basket for Christmas. Because they don't want a pound dog. They want a dog of a specific breed and want to get it as a puppy. And for every pound dog that turns out great, there are also pound dogs that are extra hard. Like we've adopted dogs that have clearly gone through abuse or clearly were never socialized properly. Not everyone is capable for caring for such a dog. Before having kids, I had gotten every animal I ever had from a shelter or from the side of the road. This was fine when it was just me and other adults that could cater to their specific needs and past traumas. We've had animals that are aggressive towards other animals, animals aggressive towards people, animals with health problems, and some that are just perfect. We had 2 of my shelter animals still when my first was born. And everything was perfect. He was a bit of a jerk, but never to us until she could walk, and then he attacked her when she wasn't even near him or messing with him. She never messed with him to begin with. Now that I have 2 small kids, I'll pay for an animal that I can see the family history of health and personality to make sure that I am protecting my children while still offering them the benefits of having an animal. Once they are older, we can go back to shelter pets. They want a puppy, and they usually also don't want the baggage that comes with that rescue dog that came from a random home. Also, the pit bull issue needs to be brought up. Shelters are rife with pit bulls and pit bull mixes. Pit bulls are not popular dogs, and a lot of shelters lose their credibility and trust when they post these various pit bull mixes as mixed breed. Because every time they have the gal to say, hey, don't buy from puppy mills, adopt instead, they turn around immediately with, hey, this is Pissfingers. She's 19 years old, has a lead hip, and can't live in a home with children, books, or electricity. Pissfingers is nervous around hair and needs 400 acres of land and an orchard of extinct fruits. That is barely an exaggeration. Unless you're retired with a pretty pension and amazing house, literally no adoption service will deem you fit to adopt. And if you do qualify, you have no reason to adopt because you can afford an objectively easier, cuter, and less exhausting stressful pet owner experience. When it's objectively more difficult to pick up pets that come with their own sets of baggage, it's not surprising that people want them. There is a lot of reasons why people prefer to buy. There are a lot of issues with pound animals, random health issues, aggression, allergies, or not interested in the breeds available. Also, adopting from the pound in a lot of US states are just as expensive as a pure breed. Don't get me wrong, pounds of dogs deserve as much love as every other dog, it's just they are not for everyone. I've adopted a Chihuahua from the shelter. Even though I love him with all my heart, he's been with me for 7-8 years now. He was nearly impossible to train because of the trauma from his first 2.5 years of his life. So he's very reactive and can't really thrive in a social setting. So I literally said to myself, next time I'm getting a puppy, because I've always had better luck with training when they are young and not traumatized. I went through a breeder who I signed a contract with. My dog is a liability and I know he was bred correctly. Behaviors, DNA were matched intentionally. My breeder's pups will never see a shelter. He will come take the puppy if it isn't being raised correctly. I had a dog I got from the pound, loved him more than anything. But it turned out the gradual and escalating epilepsy wasn't just that, it was assumed from his vet to be a brain tumor. I got 5 good years, but damn, the cost of vet bills and all the trial and error meds sucked. Known and vetted healthy dog parents may have helped, maybe not. I had a rescue dog. He was amazing, but God, the training was difficult. We spent so much money on a dog behaviorist that it did not save us money compared to paying for a puppy. Not to mention the amount of time and effort put in. He was my best friend and I miss him every day. We currently have a 15-week-old puppy and it's been so much easier. I don't want a pit mix, etc. I don't want a dog that has health or behavioral issues, refuses to be housebroken, will attack other animals. My rescue is a bitey, anxious, barky mess. He has a good life. He will until he dies. But I don't want to gamble that again. I want to reduce the likelihood of a traumatized, poorly bred dog for the next one. That, and I have absolutely zero interest in a pit bull type dog. I do not want those breeds, and I do not want a dog with a large percentage of those breeds. I just don't like a lot of conventional pit bull type behaviors. Shelter dogs around us are typically pit mixes with unknown temperaments. Not worth the risk. Because my local animal rescue league has had only staffies, pit bulls, and pit bull mixes for a solid 2 years, and my homeowner's insurance prohibits those. Also, we tried to adopt from several rescues. One wanted 5 years of tax returns to see if our finances were good enough. One demanded there be an adult who stayed home full-time. After about 2 years, we gave up. I got my purebred because I wanted a larger dog with a known temperament for the safety of my 2 rescue cats and 1 rescue 18LB mix. Too many horror stories of rescue dogs being small animal aggressive even though the shelter said they were fine with cats. The word on the street from so many that have taken shelter dogs, that they tend to have a lot of medical and behavioral problems. If you get a pup from a quality breeder, you have control of the health to a certain degree, and you are responsible for his behavior from the get-go. Paying $1,000 to $1,500 for a quality pet is often quite a bit cheaper than the vet bills on a problem animal. Plus, you get a different bond with the animal. I have had 3 dogs. One when I was a kid we got as a pup from a neighbor. My kids had 2 dogs, both golden doodles from a breeder. All great pets. I take my dogs wherever I go, and they are friendly with everyone. Others in my area got shelter dogs. One old one that growled all the time and nobody ever trusted. Another lady had one that jumped up and bit the shit out of my hand as I walked in the door. I hadn't put it out. I had it flat on my thigh and it bit the shit out of me. Similar story over and over. Then the vet problems and bills. It goes on and on. Some PPL want genetic and orthopedic testing on parent dogs so they know health history. Some PPL want a known temperament and to be able to train a dog from a puppy themselves. Some PPL want dogs with certain characteristics that can do certain sports or jobs etc. Most PPL though should absolutely just adopt. Supporting BIBE instead of adopting is why there are so many dogs in shelters right now. But supporting ethical breeders has nothing to do with why dogs end up in shelters. Another one that I don't see people mentioning is when parents get a dog they want a puppy that can grow up with the kid, and due to behavior problems some pound dogs should absolutely not be allowed near small children. The same reason why some people only buy cars new. People I know who don't like rescues are interested in a project dog. They want a puppy they can raise up to behave the way they expect. Also going through a breeder you can be guaranteed quality genetics. We can talk all day about how there are no bad dogs, but there are bad genes, that's just the truth.